All right, Transformers, we're live. This is Dr. Angelo Reynolds, Senior, that is. And so you know it's Sunday, and I hope that you guys, first of all, like to say Happy Easter to all. And I'm hoping that you are enjoying your Easter celebration. And so more fitting, we begin this week's transformational vitamin of spiritual transformation. You guys know, if you've been following us, every Sunday we begin with a new vitamin. We begin with something that I've decided that I felt you guys could use both in your personal and your professional life. So as we begin this week from the Transformers Academy, if you're going to be joining us, we say welcome. For those persons who've been joining us in the past, we also say welcome. And also you can find us at DrAngeloReynolds.com here on Periscope and also on YouTube, where you get a chance to go back and see all of the postings and the content of things that may be useful for your organizations. We do this every single week. We do it every day. And we start with an Instagram posting in the morning. For those persons who've been following us, we say thank you for your comments, your inquiries, and all the love you guys have sent us thus far as we're moving in the transformation best fitting for you. Okay, so welcome to the broadcast. If you're going to be joining us, I am Angelo Reynolds, Senior, that is, and this is the Transformers Academy. And this week's broadcast evolves from our section of spiritual transformation. And so the question, as I always do, as before we begin the week, is I ask you, what is true faith? Do you believe, and do you really truly believe what you say you believe in? And so if you notice the picture there of content, it's really about a multitude, various spiritual organizations. And so what my goal is this week is to not necessarily focus on the religious views, if you will, not to overstep anyone's boundaries there in terms of what you believe in, but to tap into the spiritual context. That is, finding that we all have a commonality when it comes to spiritual transformation. We all I believe in one creator. We all have different names in which we may identify with in terms of the creator. But I believe that we all can come to one general consensus as it relates to faith, truly faith, and do you really believe when you say you believe? That is, it doesn't matter what your religious background or faith is, or practice is, I should say, looking at the various religious practices there, I think that we commonly can come to the conclusion that we all have some type of faith base. But the question is, what is true faith? And do you really believe what you say you believe? And so that's what we're going to be talking about this week, the importance of spiritual transformation as it relates to spiritual maturity, your maturation of have you grown with your own faith, and what are some of the obstacles and challenges that come your way in the midst of your spiritual growth. Okay. We'll also focus on, faith being a portion of your actual belief system. So what do you really believe? And in what context do you really believe those things? Three things there: believing that it's really, really truthfully going to happen, practicing faith, patience is a virtue, and also doing something. I talk candidly about the process of faith and belief systems, but more importantly, faith and believing something without the necessary work to put in becomes useless. And so you've heard that before, believing something and really, really believing, having the actual faith that things are going to work out, but actually doing something. And we're going to talk about that all week. Doing something, putting in the work, along with your faith is the first step, believing that things will come out, and also putting in the actual work to make those things happen. And then finally, the focus will be on, hopefully by the end of the week, you can begin to talk about a renewed you, how you have become renewed. I hope to hear from some of you guys on the live broadcast. And that when you become a renewed person, I'm going to talk candidly about some of my experiences in terms of my growth and my belief systems over the last few years. But in terms of transforming by renewing your whole belief system, what has happened in the past, things that may have not worked out for you in the past, but now because you are renewed, you're transformed into this person now where your faith is stronger, your belief system is more candid, and your practices or work ethics in doing something about it becomes something that is of the past. And so I talk about these things, and hopefully you guys will begin to write these things down. We'll post these things on YouTube as you get a chance to go back and look at the content under Dr. Angelo Reynolds on YouTube. So if you're on the air, if you have questions about this week, I want you guys to think about the process of how do you get to true faith, and how do you increase your faith through your belief systems. And so what are you doing to increase your faith, to make things come into fruition? And has your faith been tested? You know, there's a lot of talk over the years. I've heard people talk about your faith being tested, and that you go through a series of tests to find out how faithful you can be, how honest you can be, and how truthful you can be in terms of your own belief systems. And a lot of those things I disagree with, because I believe in my own case of personal setbacks and challenges. Many of you who have followed me know that I had some very tumultuous years of being convicted as a felon, having to go to jail, spent some house arrest time, and also succumbing to the social ill of abuse of alcohol over many years, and almost self-destructive behavior. And so I share that with you because there was once a time when my belief system was weak, where my faith was weak, and I had to find a way to tap into not only my belief systems and understand that I really did believe that I was in the process of spiritual maturation. And so when it comes to those things, what do you really believe in? Do you believe that something is going to happen? For instance, I wanted to stop drinking for years. I prayed and prayed and prayed to stop smoking and drinking, succumbing to the social ills of the world. But on the same contrary, I did nothing about it. I prayed, and I asked God for all these things to be removed, but I did little or minimum to try to decrease or eliminate those things. And so it was only until I really made a conscious effort to work at my faith, work in my belief system, and put my things into work, that everything came into fruition. And so you may have a similar story. If you didn't have an addiction, there may have been some challenges that you had. For 6 years, I went without a job. I was a convicted felon, and I couldn't get a job for 6 years. So what did I do? I had to go out and make means the best way I could. I wrote a book, wrote my second book, wrote my first and second book, and I began to get out and sell the books out the trunk of my car. While I was on house arrest. It was a way to make ends meet because I couldn't get hired because I was a convicted felon at that time. So I share these things with you because I know that you have a story, and I know that you've gone through some challenges. You've had some obstacles, and I know it hasn't always been a smooth ride for you. And so today is the day for you to think about your true faith. What are you going through now? And do you really believe that you can overcome these challenges? Do you think you can overcome defeat these addictions, come back after these setbacks? What is your true spiritual transformation as it relates to your faith? Is your faith weak? Do you really believe? Because you say you believe, but what are your actions that you take? So all this week, I'm going to come on the air. Remember, go look at these things. Hopefully you write these things. You don't have to write these things down, but they are available on YouTube and again on Periscope. And we post these things. Faith is a belief system. It's just a portion of the spiritual transformation, because again, faith and belief systems is useless without doing something. The last thing there, work. You have to work at it. And so finally, hopefully by the end of the week, I will hear from you guys in terms of what renewedness or founding renewedness that you conform to. You're now, doesn't happen in a week. Obviously, we know that in a week's time, you don't become a conformed person. But I believe that you can no longer think differently. You will think differently about conforming or non-conforming to those things that have kept you down for so long. So this is Angelo Reynolds. This is the Transformers Academy. I am Angelo Reynolds, Senior, that is. And so if you're looking, I hope you guys are enjoying your Easter, and I hope that whatever your religious background is, whatever your faith is, whatever your belief system is, you find a way to reassess, realign yourself, and define what is true faith for you and what do you really believe in. And I guarantee you, if you'll walk with me this week, we can walk together, share stories together, and find a way to identify what our true faith is. Do we really believe what we say we believe in? Okay? If you're on the air, if you have questions now, I look forward to hearing from you guys. We'll post these things and we begin early with Instagram posts. Look for that and go to DrAngeloReynolds.com where you get a chance to see all the things that we've done, what we continue to do. And we hope that you'll be a part of the Transformers through the subscription there. We look forward to having you. Until tomorrow, be best. Enjoy the rest of your Easter. Focus on something that you can change. Think about where are you in terms of your transformation of spiritual maturation and what is truth and what do you really, really believe. We'll see you then. Peace.